Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And today we are talking new construction and we're going to break everything down as we are seeing a big, strong push by builders out here in Kern County, giving some of the best rates in town, some of the best incentives. So I want to go over that process with you and walk you through it because we were just able to save our clients $13,000 on the sales price. Plus, we got all their closing costs covered. On top of that, we were able to give them a 4.99 interest rate. So let's kind of break that down. We are currently out in Southwest Bakersfield at one of the Lennar sites, Benveneva Glen, new site that's coming out and they're just starting to build out here. So kind of give you a little tour as we're walking through some of the homes that are being built right now. But let's just talk about new construction because we're seeing a big push in new construction right now because they're giving some great rates. So really the two that are giving the best rates right now, at least out here in Kern County, and sometimes when I'm on their website, I'll see out in the Fresno area, Madera, some of those areas also it looks like they're giving the same rate. So if you're not in California or Kern County, it could be a little bit different from you. But let's just talk about Kern County because that's where I'm in. Now, what I'm seeing for as far as the best rates and closing costs and stuff like that, we have our DR Horton and we have K Hovanian right now. Those two are giving best rates and best incentives back to you, the buyer. Let's talk about DR Horton first. Right now, DR Horton, 4.99% interest rates right now, and that's on FHA loan, okay? Right now, the average FHA loan, which we're seeing out here in Kern County, is anywhere from 6.12 to 6.22. And that's saying maybe you have like a credit score of like a 650. But if you go new construction, you can actually get a 4.99 if you use the on-site lender. Now, that's the key when buying new construction, sitting down with the on-site lender because that's where you're going to get the best rates. That's where you're going to get the best incentives. So DR Horton right now, 4.99% interest rate. Let's just kind of break it down. At a $364,000 sales price, which we just got our client in, payment on that was a little bit above 2,500 bucks a month. Now, let's say you go resell and you have the 6.12 interest rate, your payment's probably going to be $28 to $3,000. So with this special interest rate and with the incentives they're getting, you're going to save somewhere between like $300 to $500. That's if you can qualify for the 3.5% down, right? That could change if you have really high debt or something like that, but let's assume you have decent credit, your debt's not too bad, and you can qualify for the 3.5% down. And the new construction for DR Horton, 3.5% down is going to get you a 4.99 interest rate at $364,000, which we just got our client in. Payment was a little bit over $2,500. Now, if you just go resell home, you don't have that special interest rate. Like I said, your payment's going to be anywhere between $2,800 to $3,000. So like I said, you can see it's going to save you $300 to $500 a month with this special rate that they're doing right now. Now, on top of getting the special rate, you also can get your closing costs covered. So they were only offering $5,000 back to buyer in closing costs, but I was able to negotiate with the builder and we were actually able to get all of their closing costs covered. I think we got $12,000 back in closing costs. So we went from $5,000 that we were going to get to $12,000. And note, if you are buying new construction, let's say you are buying in a different state or something, a lot of people don't know this. New construction, that price is negotiable too. You can negotiate it just like a resale home, and a lot of people don't know that. So that's why it's good. Even if you're not here in Kern County, get yourself an agent, hire yourself a good agent. Make sure you go out there, get on Google, look at the reviews, interview a few people, and make sure you're making the right decision for you because hiring a good agent can save you money because somebody who's good at negotiating is going to be able to negotiate the best deal. Like I said, we were able to get my client $13,000 under the list price, plus we got another $12,000 in closing costs. Now I've even got up to $15,000 back in closing costs for other clients. So remember, when you go out, if you see the list price and you see a certain price and you're like, I wonder if I can get that maybe under, you can submit an offer like you can just like on a resale home on new construction. So they don't always tell you that, especially if you go with the on-site agent. they're probably not going to tell you that that price is negotiable. But if you have an agent that you bring with you, they can negotiate the price for you. That's something we do for our clients. So if that's something you want to do, feel free to reach out. We can definitely walk you through that process. Now, on top of DR Horton, I like DR Horton. They're giving really good incentives right now. You have K. Hovanian, which just came out with some great incentives. They are giving you up to $20,000 back. So you'll probably use half of that 20K to pay for your closing costs. And then the extra 10K, what you're going to do is do something called an interest rate buy down. Now, they have a special thing going on right now till I think end of September. I bet you it gets pushed into October, where they're doing like it's called a 3-1 buy down. So first year, your loan's going to be 2.99%. Second year, your rate's going to be at 3.99. And then it's going to lock that third year at a 4.99 for the duration of your loan unless you refi. So that's really, really good. So you're going to start out at a 2.99% interest rate and then move up to a 3.99 and then move up where you lock at a 4.99. Now, don't get scared. I know the adjustable rates, people get scared sometimes because they're like, oh, I don't want to do an adjustable rate because it's going to fluctuate, depending on where rate's at and how the market is. On this 3-1 buy down, yes, first year it's going to be 2.99. Second year, like we talked about, 3.99, and then it locks at 4.99. So when it locks for the next 27 years, you're going to be at a 4.99. It's not going to go up and down. It's not going to fluctuate. So really good incentives right now through K. Hovanian. Like I said, get all your closing costs covered, and then you're going to start out with a really, really good payment with that 2.99% interest rate. And even a 4.99 once you lock it. That's really great. We haven't seen 4s in years, about 3 or 4 years. We haven't seen any rates like that. So if you can lock at a 4.99, that is going to save you a lot of money. Now, the process of new construction. So first thing you're going to want to do, go out, tour all the different communities, and just see what kind of incentives are going on. September is usually a good time to buy. Well, once we get closer to September, because that's like their end of their fiscal year a lot of times, where they start finishing up and getting ready for the new tracks. So you see some big cuts. Also in December, you see some big cuts. So like September through December, that's when you start seeing some of the big cuts, some really good incentives. I always tell everybody, look in December. I've seen people cut $50,000, $60,000 where they'll have 2 or 3 homes they want to get rid of and they do a big price cut. So you just kind of have to be ready to go so you can take advantage of those price cuts when they make them. Now we also have Lennar out here, LGI. I'm not a fan of LGI homes. We've had some issues with LGI and the negotiating team out here in town. They're really strict on some of their guidelines. So it's the only community where I've ever seen somebody lose a deposit and they were unwilling to, give the deposit back. We had a situation where the lady's mom was sick, and so things changed and they would not give her deposit back. So I'm not really a big fan of the LGI out here in Kern County. Where you're at, it may be a little bit better. But with that being said, I will say LGI will cover a majority of your closing costs. They are just really strict on some of the guidelines, and they are unwilling to work with you when getting your money back. If for some reason you have to back out. It's the only issue I've ever really had with the new construction site, LGI. Now, like we were talking a little bit about Lennar also. Lennar, which we're at one of their sites right now, they're usually giving between 5 to 10K back. So I haven't seen them do the special rates like K. Hovanian or DR Horton or anything like that, but they are giving some money back, $5,000 to $10,000. Now you have Lennar here in Bakersfield, where I'm currently located, and then you have Lennar out in Shafter, which that Shafter site is almost grown right into Bakersfield, so it feels like Bakersfield when you go to that site out there. What I will say is, if you don't care where you're at and you don't mind being in that Shafter location, that same model home that's here in Bakersfield is probably going to be like 10K less in Shafter. So if you like a certain model home that can be built out in that Shafter area, Gossamer Grove, and there's another site being built right next to Gossamer Grove. I forget what the name is, But if you do that same model home out in Shafter compared to out here in Bakersfield, it's going to save you, you know, about 10, 15K, somewhere around there. And 10 to 15K in savings, difference in your payments probably going to be somewhere between $70 to $90. So not a big difference, but if you're looking to maybe save some money and you don't care if you're in Bakersfield or if you're in that Shafter location, that same model being built here in Bakersfield, it's going to be cheaper out there in Shafter. Same thing with the DR Horton homes. Abbey Court out here for DR Horton is the cheapest here in town that I've seen. You can get them at $364 every now and then. Their Madison floor plan, which is a 3-bed, 2-bath, a little over 1,200 square feet. Really solid entry-level home. You can get, I want to say it's the Adams floor plan, which is like the step up. It's a 4-bed, 2-bath. You can get those about $389. Now, same thing, Abbey Court, which is on the east side off of the 58 and Fairfax, that model home over there in East Bakersfield is going to be about $10,000 to $15,000 less, as the model homes being built out here in the Southwest in like Village East and Village West. That same model home's going to be cheaper in Abbey Court. So if you don't mind living on the east side, the one good thing about Abbey Court is it is right off the freeway. So now with the West Side Parkway being built, you can shoot across town in about 15 minutes. So really not a big deal if you're looking to save some money. So let's wrap this up and kind of talk about it and break it down real quick. So the process, new construction. If you want to go new construction, tour all the communities, right? Once you find a community you like, book an appointment with the on-site lender, because that's where your incentives are going to come. So you sit down with the lender. Once we get pre-qualified, that's when we can start negotiating deals with the builder. Once we lock your deal in, some of these sites, you can move in ready within about 45 days. There are some that are about 3 to 4 months out also, so there is a variety. So 1, tour your homes, find what you want. 2, get pre-qualified, submit your offer. Then, like I said, you're looking from 45 days up to about 4 months for it to actually close. So if you'd like a list of properties that are available out here as far as new construction, you want to go over the incentives, feel free to reach out and we can set up a free consultation, whether it's in person, over the phone, or over Zoom. If you're looking to relocate to Bakersfield, we've helped families relocate from everywhere, from Colorado, from Georgia, from Florida, even from LA into Bakersfield. We've helped you. If you're looking to sell and relocate, we can do that too. Feel free to reach out today. So till next time, we'll be back to home tours next week. But if you have any questions on the new construction and how that all works out, feel free to reach out today. So till next time.